Alrighty. Hello, guys. How's it going? I've missed you, chat. It's good to be back. It's been a whole week. Let's see. Let me pull up my windows here. Welcome all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Where's my chat window? What up, Teeth Engraved? Honk to you. And hello to Beard Pills. Hello, hello. Glad to have you here on this fine Friday night. Also, 10 points to anyone who gets the reference on the tagline. Want to take a ride? Any Art Bell fans? Late night 90s weirdo radio? Definitely another thing that I guess has been in the back of my head since wanting to start streaming. I don't know if I'll ever be as weird as Art Bell, though. I don't have enough aliens on my show. Anyway, so, hey, you got video this time. Good shit, good shit. Hopefully my stuff will work. So we've got our max patch loaded up here. Let's go over what we got so far. For any newcomers. And actually, speaking of newcomers, I want to say welcome to a new follower this week, JJ Sama. Thanks for coming and hanging out. And please feel free to share anything that you're working on in the chat and introduce yourself or just hang out and watch. I like to Bob Ross it up so that folks can just hang out and maybe learn something or watch me fucking things up and, you know, enjoy that too. So, we all learn together here. Last time. Oh, Teeth Engraved. It's also a Repo Man reference. That's where Art got it. Okay, yo, I didn't know that. I forgot. I need cool bumper music like Art. But then Twitch will get mad at me, so I can't do that. Let's see. So yes, last time on the Radical D, we had some buttons hooked up to notes. We got all 8 of them here. And let's see if we're going to actually receive them. I got a treat for you this week. We're going to switch into a new synth. My husband and I have been doing a lot of fun stuff with the DX7 plugin for our band. So this one's going out to you, Teeth Engraved. I got notes going to that. We're going to hook the joysticks up to the operators in this nifty FM synth. Check it out, y'all. Nothing's hooked up yet except for the notes, I think. But let's give those a shot. Boop. Another thing with a window that's too big, but that's okay. I need like a third screen. Okay. Yep. We got some notes happening. We got a couple notes not happening. I think I know what that is. Oh, yep, that's going to the AU DLS synth by accident. We want the IAC driver bus. We want to put in a menu for this as well at some point. So that I don't have to do this manually every time and forget one of them like I just did. I assigned some notes on these keyboards here. The velocity is defaulting to 64 like we want. And if I... yeah, we got our D-pad coming in here, so if I move left, we'll get quieter notes. If I move right, we'll get louder notes. Let's try it out. Hey, sweet. Yeah, rocking some nice ambient FM this week, I think. Oh, you can resize the Arturia GUI? I'm a moron, I didn't realize that. Let me see. That would be cool. Is it this guy here? No. No, it doesn't want to let me. Open it, click on the name. Click on where it says DX7. Oh, resize window. Thank you! Appreciate it, Teeth Engraved. Let's try 70%. That might be a little easier to work with. There we go. Thank you! Much appreciated. Beardfill's patch looks mad clean, yo. Thank you! Yeah, we're working on it. We're getting there. It's getting cleaner. We cleaning as we go. Cool, our notes are working. Our velocity is working. Awesome. Alright. So I think the first thing I want to do today is work on our joysticks just a little bit. We need a MIDI mapping mode, and that should be pretty easy. Just a little gate. Just a happy little gate. Because as it is, if I move the joystick, we're getting two controls at once. And these are, so that means live is going to get confused if we try to map. And the other thing I want to do is we had a little bug last time that I noticed. This right joystick is behaving a tiny bit differently than the left one. So I want to take a look at that. And I don't think it should be too bad. Famous last words. Let's take a look at what our input is. Here's our raw data from the right joystick on the y-axis. So at the top it's 0, at the bottom it's 255. Let's put it in after this scale object so that we can see... Oh, yeah, of course. I have outthought myself. So we can see our input position right here. And I think, yeah, so what I'm noticing that's weird is that you see how this is kind of wobbling about? We should be seeing these numbers stop when I'm not touching the joystick. Same as with the left one up here. And I think that's just because... See how we're hovering around 128, 129 here? And we're hovering around 130 over here? That's different from the left one. Left one is 140 and 136. So we need a slightly different dead zone. Teeth engraved. That might be because that controller is 12 years old, too. Yes, that could be, but we want to account for things like that in our patch, because, you know, PS3 is old. I'm old. Shit gets old. That's okay. So, I think... Let's look at the y-axis first. I think all we need to do is assign the right dead zone. So if I go all the way up and then let it go real quick, we get 129... down. Seems to pretty much like 129. There's a 130. Alright, so somewhere around 129, 130 is the center position. So I'm going to open up our bpatcher arguments here. Click on edit. So we still want to go, these are our output arguments for, we want to scale to 0 to 127 for MIDI, because that's what MIDI understands. And we're going in increments of, at minimum 0.1, that's for just a little nudge. Maximum 1.5, that's for a larger nudge. Its name is Bob, we can keep that. And let's see, right, so this is our dead zone here. It is set to 137 to 143, which is too big for this joystick. Let's try 128 to 130. There we go. That's what we want to see. So over here, what we want is this 0. That's a happy little 0. So when I let go of the joystick, we snap back to 0. And what that means is that our output number that we're going to send to our knob doesn't fluctuate. It will stop where we put it. So if I'm nudging upward, then we can slowly get up to 127 and then stay there if we don't want to go all the way. It doesn't snap back to the middle. And then I can slowly nudge it back down towards 0. We have a lot finer control than if we were just mapping this straight to 0 to 127 on up-down. Because then I would have to hold the joystick at what position I want a slider to be, rather than just nudging it when I want it to change. So let's look at this X1. I bet it's going to be the same thing. So left, right. Seems like it's snapping back to like 131, 132. Alright. Yeah, let's do... Whoops, I closed it. Let's do that. So... Yeah, here we have 134 to 138. So, we want something more like... let's give it 129 to 133. How about that? Do we want to float here? I forget. Floats are decimals, in case anyone is new to that. Okay, no, we have integers. That makes sense. We're getting raw data that's integers. I think that should do it. Yep, 129 to 133. Aha. All right. That seems good. So you can see, even though this input number is fluctuating a little bit, we're still at 0. That's what our dead zone does. Huzzah! Whoops. Beep. Let's close this. We don't need that anymore. Let's save. And now let's add in our gate. And also, before we go any further, let's jump in on our notes and write down what we're doing. So last time we did mapping the dungeon, and we put together a list of all the things that we want our controls to do. This is when this side quest is over, when we have accomplished these goals. Last time we wrote down today's mission. That was velocity control on the left-right, and clean up our notes and turn them into bee-patchers, and we did that. So, this is what we are doing today, under our do not forget list, things to come back to. I'm going to move this down and call it today's mission. Gate for MIDI mapping. Also was fix the bug with the right joystick, and we already get to mark that done because we're so fucking productive. Holy moly. Alright. And anyone who wonders why I do this with notes, you need to. Like, stuff gets complicated. This is not too bad right now, but I need a breadcrumb trail. I use this at work, and it's even more important there. I had to, so without, going into too much crap, but at work, I had to do a thing that I've been working on for the last couple of days that is complicated enough that I needed to potentially account for, and I did the math. There were 72 different permutations of things to test. 72 different failure points. All of them potentially interconnected, so I could fix one and break another one. Good times. And that is why you need notes. And in that case, a spreadsheet. But this'll do just fine for us. Don't be afraid to write notes. It might take a little bit of time, but, write down your steps when you're debugging things. It's so important because it will save you time in the long run if you remember exactly what your goal is so you don't get sidetracked, and if you remember the things that you've tried so far. If you're trying to figure out what's going wrong with something, then, first thing we tried worked here. But if adjusting the dead zone hadn't worked, I would have made a note here that said, okay, first step, I tried adjusting the dead zone, and I got this result. And it's supposed to be doing this, but it's not. Instead, it's doing this. And then I would make a list of a couple of things, brainstorm things to try, like close and reopen the patch, or Google something. And it's also important for morale, I have found, that if you always have something in your back pocket so you're never quite out of ideas, even if it's something, stupid like close and reopen your files, if you're never quite out of ideas and you have a thing on your list that you're about to try, then stuff doesn't get too scary. You're never gonna feel like, oh man, this is that impossible bug, I'm never gonna fix this. So, that's another reason to take notes. Beard Pill says, a spreadsheet for coding? Coding is already hard enough, lol. No, dude. Spreadsheets, I don't use them that much. I kind of personally prefer a list like this, or a diagram. I'm definitely a visual person. I like to, I'll keep a notebook sometimes for drawing pictures, especially for max patches, because you end up with boxes that are all connected and stuff. But, yeah, man, notes are not scary. Spreadsheets are not scary. They are your friends. They make coding less complicated, not more complicated. Can you imagine if I had to keep those 72 things all in my brain? Fuck that. I can't do that. No way. My brain is not good enough. So yeah, anyway, onward. Back to the action. Let's get this working. We want a little gate for our MIDI mapping mode. A happy little gate. We could eventually hook this up to the start button, I think. We were talking about having a menuing mode on the start button, so you can pause and, if you say so. Yeah, no, I say so. Believe me, I've tried it the other way. Yeah, Beardville says, I mean, I like lists as well. Yeah, you gotta. I mean, it's not like I like lists, but I fucking can't function without them when it comes to things like this. So yeah, might hook up the start button to this at some point and have sort of a pause or a menuing mode for this. So let's start with a happy little trigger. And that's going to send out a 0 or a 1. And whoops, I meant to type N. Let's have a gate. And by default, let's see, so its arguments are the number of outlets, we only need 1, and its initial state. In this case, we actually want it to be off, because by default, we want our joysticks to just kind of work. So, gonna connect that up, and we're gonna want this to gate all 4 of our joystick outputs. So I could send them... well, we don't want to send them all through one gate because they all need different control outputs. So, let's actually have 4 gates. Let's move this down and make some room. We have 1. Well, okay, hang on a second. We don't want to say... Let me think a moment. Alright, so if we're just going to send our data through this gate... We actually want it to be on initially, if we want our joysticks to just work. So let's do that. Let's grab 4 of these guys. Actually, I'm breaking my own rule. One thing at a time. Let's just do this joystick control first, and then we'll know how it'll work for the other 3. One bit at a time. So I still want just 1 trigger, but let's put it on a send. So send MIDI map mode. Let's call it that. And then we're going to receive that. And we're going to receive it over yonder on this gate. Its initial state is open, so let's have this match that just so that we don't have these out of phase. We want these to both be telling the truth. So if we see this trigger is off, we know that the gate is off. So I'm going to say load mess 1. That way when our patch loads, the gate will match. Alright, so that's open. Data will pass through. But what I want to do is turn this MIDI mode on to pause the data. So what I'm going to do is actually have this start off, but we want to switch. So select 1 and 0, and when I get a 1 here, I actually want to send a 0. Because when we turn map mode on, we want to pause the data output. That's the idea. So let's use a handy-dandy trigger object. So when we get a 1, we're going to actually trigger a 0. And we get a 0, we want to trigger a 1. Here we go. Both of those go in here. Cool. So when that is off, we should still be sending data. Let's just check that. Like to check things as I go. Yep, so when I move my joystick, numbers are passing through. When I turn this on, they are not. Alright, so that's step 1. Let's add this to our other controllers. We just need these 2 guys. Boop, boop. Grab both of these. And I'm noticing that we're repeating ourselves. We could probably dry up this code at some point. Dry stands for do not repeat yourself. And put this into our B patcher. But that's a refactor. That's a cleanup. We want to get something that works first. Then we can clean it up later. Do things one bit at a time, get something that works, and then clean it up afterwards. Don't try to do all of that at once. You'll tie yourself in knots. Or at least I will. Okay, so now all of those should behave the same. We checked one. Let's confirm for ourselves before we go any further. This is all part of that one thing at a time rule. Before we go further, we check and make sure what we've done works. This is how you avoid really difficult to figure out max bugs later on down the road. Imagine if I had, messed up a patch cord on just this one gate, and then we did a bunch of other patching, and for some reason the right joystick wouldn't map. That'd be a pain in my butt. So we want to avoid that. So with the gate off, we should still get data. Yep. Or rather, with the mapping mode off, we should still get data. And we are indeed. Mapping mode on, we do not. Loverly. Next. Let's get rid of these guys. Next, what we want is a button for each of our joystick directions, I would say, is the easiest way to do this. So let's bring this into its own little area here. And let's make a happy little button. And we're going to call this button left joystick X. Then we're going to make 3 more happy little buttons. Or I guess we'll just do this one first. So what we want this to do is send just a number, directly out of the controller output. So all this needs to do really is just say, I don't know, trigger 1. That's easy enough. And let's use a send to keep stuff clean. Send map joy X. Oh, we need a left. We need to specify left or right. So let's say map. I called it ljoy X and ljoy Y. So let's keep that same naming scheme. I guess that's another little programming tidbit. To avoid bugs where you have typos about naming things, keep one naming scheme. Like, I could have called this Joy LX, and that would be fine, but I'd be creating problems for myself later, because maybe I forget that this is called Raw LJoy Y. This just makes things cleaner. So I'm going to stick with this. Raw LJoy X. With the capitals. Alrighty. Let's go. Receive. So this guy is going to go past the gate. We've paused our regular output, and we want to send this out of the controller output. Cool. That should work. So the idea is, with MIDI map mode on, we shouldn't get a bunch of extra data. But here, I'm going to close this for a second. And if I go into MIDI map mode, I can shuffle my joysticks all I want, and we're not getting shit, and that's good, because otherwise live would get confused. Let's map op2 to left X. And so the way I would do that is I'd click on the thing I want to map to, and then I'd click this button, and hopefully it should show up. Boop! And it didn't. Oh well. Fuck it. Looks like we have a bug. What's going on here? Alright, so we're triggering 1. That should do a thing. Let me put this controller down. We have a send. It is going to a receive, and that is connected to a controller out. So that looks good there. we're going to check each step of the chain here. So let's put a little integer box here, make sure we're getting a 1 out of there, like we expect to. Yep, we are. There's a 1. Alright. Let's check the next step in the chain. Yep, that's the problem. I forgot to assign these. IAC driver bus all the way around. There we go. Whoops, that's wrong. Okay, that's what we want. So this is a separate project. This is part of keeping your goals straight, and why, again, back to the notes file, I could detour here and say, like, oh man, that was a shitty bug, I want to prevent that. I need a menu so that I can just assign all of these correctly. No, that's a different project for a different day. We are going to stay on target here and just do the thing that we planned to do in our friggin' notes. Gate for MIDI mapping. We have a different task for that. Need menus to assign scales as well as MIDI output devices. That is a job for another day. One thing at a time. So, that being fixed, hopefully, let's see if it's working. We're in MIDI map mode. I've selected the op. And let's hit the button. And it shows up this time. Alright. We did it, chat. Huzzah! Victory is ours. So now we just need to copy that for our other controllers. And then we should be in business. And that's why we did one by itself first. Now we just copy, 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 rename. So let's do left joystick Y, Y. And this will be right joystick X. Make that an R. This will be right joystick Y. And make this a happy little R. Alright. And then we need to copy these guys and make them into receives. Awesome. Let's drag them over here to their new homes. Ba-da-da-bum. So let's make sure we put them in the right places. This is L Joy Y, so that goes over here. And this one is R Joy X. And that goes over here. Yep. And this is why I like the naming conventions, because I can just scan this patch and notice that I named these wrong. And I can, or conversely see that I've done it right, and just, you can even do a find. Command F for find and look for L-Joy Y and see all the objects that match that. See, it highlights both of those over there. But in this case, these are the same, and they shouldn't be. We want R-Joy Y. Yep. There we go. Thanks, Teeth Engraved. Woo, back to you. Alright. We are cooking now. R-Joy X, R-Joy Y, X, Y. Looking good. Alright. So now, we got 4 happy little buttons here. Let's assign the rest of them. We've got left joy X. Let's do Y next. So the configuration... Oh, I can't open this while we're in map mode. Whatever, I'll show you in a second. Let's do... let's do this operator as right joystick X. I believe this is our other carrier wave here. 1 and 3 are our carriers. 2, 4, 5, and 6 are our modulators. And I think we don't have time to go into an FM explanation right now. But essentially, Okay, real quick, 10-second lightning round FM explanation if anyone wants it. Carrier's the sound that you hear. Modulator is going to act like an LFO, except it's at audio speed. And FM stands for frequency modulation, so we're modulating the pitch of an oscillator that we hear really, really fucking fast. So you get like a wah 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 wah, except it's pitch, and it's so fast that it makes it sound real weird. There. FM in less than a minute. Boom. So, yeah. There's the other X. And then let's do... This one is Y. And let's do this one as the other Y. Okay, let's see what happens. I think this is going to be nifty. And we gotta remember to turn map mode off. Okay, chat. Let's see if we've screwed anything else up. I think it'll work, though. Ah, we did. What did we screw up? I'm not getting data from our joysticks. Why? Oh well. We figured out. So when this is off, that 0 should trigger a 1. And it should open our gate up. What's going on? Any guesses, chat? Are we actually assigned here? Yeah, we must be, otherwise we wouldn't have been able to map with our buttons. Alright. Whoop. So with this on, we should get nothing. Let's focus on the right joystick X. Yep, we're getting nothing. If I turn it off... Okay, it's working now. What? We call this the max uncertainty principle, where sometimes it just decides that it's confused, and it's probably time to close and reopen the patch. But, I don't know, that seems like it just decided to fix itself, so... Let's check this one. Yeah, we good there. Alright. How about here? We gonna be cool, Max? Yeah? Alright. How about this one? Yeah? Okay. Alright, fine. Fine. Love it. I don't care. If it's working, it's working. Let's hit save. We should see some sliders moving. Yep. So both of these... Interesting. So I'm just moving left and right. I'm moving the left joystick, and it seems like we're just getting these two at the same time, and that's not good. And these two. So something is clearly weird with our mapping. What did we do? So, left joy X, receive, up there. That's correct. Left joy Y, receive up there. That's correct. Oh, here we go. Hey, look at this. This isn't right. We have a couple of sends. Aha. Okay, so we mapped something twice. That's what we did. These two are both going to the same place. See, they both say, RJoyX and oopsies. There we go. So this should be, that is correct. This one needs a Y. Yep, we fixed it on the receive. We didn't fix it on the send. Alright, let's try it again. Let's remap. Go into map mode. Let's hit save. MIDI. Yep. Yep, you can see we've got two of the same thing here. Alright, let's try it again. Left X. right X. So let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4 is what we should be seeing. And then left Y and right Y. Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Now we got it, chat. Oh, I saved the wrong thing, but sure, we can save this. Let's DX7 silver machine. Cool. Now, hopefully, if I turn MIDI mapping mode off, we should see these. Yeah, now we're cooking. Let's see what it sounds like. Yep, up down is doing op 5, left right on the right is doing op 3. Oh, that's cool. Dude, chat, that is cool. It's pretty sensitive. But that's okay. You know what we could do about that that's kind of neat? Now this is an Ableton trick. We've got our minimum and maximum values controllable here. So I think if we were to, if we wanted a bit tighter control here, we could do something like this to make it a smaller range. But we'd still have the full range of our controller. Let's try that, I'm just curious. Oh yeah, that's better. Nice! What do you think, chat? Yeah, you can get some pretty nice timbres there. Check it out, you can watch the little sliders move. It's these guys. Thank you! Beardville says it sounds tight. Yeah, I think that's pretty neat. Nice. Alright. I would like to try and get one other little thing in here, but this is worth a save. And also a save as. Again, if I was on GitHub and doing code with text, this is where I would make a commit. And we get to write a happy little done next to that. Nice. So the other thing I was kind of hoping to get in here today was an octave switch. Simple enough, we've got velocity on left-right, and we decided we were going to have an octave up-down on the D-pad up-down. I think we might be able to get that reasonably easily. Let's take a little look. D-pad, D-pad. So we've got... Let's see. Actually, you know what? It's already 11:08, and I would say that this was a victory. I would like to do more, but I think I must also eat food. We'll call that a sneak preview for next time. So next time is going to be scales and octave buttons. And that is going to be awesome. You know what else we could do that's neat, real quick? We can assign these to multiple controls. So check this out, chat. Let's go to configure. And let's see if we can configure the ratios and frequencies for a couple of these operators. I bet that would be interesting. Let's grab... So green and purple are our carriers. And, yeah, let's play around with this for a minute, and then we're going to call it a night. But next time is going to be all notes all night. So that's green. Yeah, green is a carrier. Purple is a carrier. Let's try a couple of these modulators. Yeah, let's just do 2. We did 5 and 2. Yeah, alright, let's try these. I bet this will be neat. Turn off configure. Go to MIDI mapping mode. What's... Oh, bad. Very bad. So what we need to do is remember to turn mapping mode on in Max before we turn MIDI mapping mode on here. So now we need to reassign a couple of these, but that's okay. Beard Pills, you doing Loop Create tomorrow? What is that? I was not aware. I may. Let's see. So we want this. Left joystick, X. Yeah, let's go boop. And let's also do X. Let's do left joystick. Sure, whatever. Let's try Y here. Let's do them in order. There. And there. Oh, it's the Ableton event, registration only, closed now. Yeah, I guess I'm not. Didn't hear about that, but maybe another time. All good. You'll have to fill me in on Discord. Oh, that reminds me. I didn't get to doing a Discord channel this week, but I promise I will soon. There will be a Radical D Discord channel where we can all hang out and share patches and things a little bit more easily. And then we can talk about them and play with them on stream and stuff. That is the hope. Alright, let's try a couple of these. I'm going to put that on left X and this on right X. And then we're going to get some crazy shit, I bet. Turn off MIDI map mode. Oh, have to also turn off MIDI map mode over here. Getting used to it. Yeah. Alright, now you can see these two are moving together. Alright, we've got some more stuff happening. I bet this is going to be interesting. A little more dissonant now. Oh yeah. And I'm only using the left joystick. And this might also be cool to restrict the range a bit. Before I open MIDI mapping mode, turn that on so it doesn't get confused. Let's make these a little closer too. And we don't need this. Alright. We don't want too much variation in this frequency. We want a tighter control. Something like that. Turn it back off. There we go. Yeah, okay. Now it's a little less dissonant because we don't have the frequencies freaking out quite as much. Oh yeah. Love it. Let's have a little more fun. I'm gonna throw a delay on here. Time to add some frosting. Nice. Thank you. Yeah, super cool. This is lots of fun. Let's throw some distortion on it. The D in Radical D also stands for distortion. Let's see. Let's do a fancy distortion. I'm going to go plugins. I'm going to go to Reason. Let me let you in on a little secret, chat. This might be my favorite distortion. At least in plugins. Reason rack plugin. Scream. Scream for distortion! Oh yeah! Bro. This is why we do this shit. Let's try the tape. Beardfills, can you still get those Reason racks standalone? Yeah, I think so. I just bought Reason and you have a plug-in version of it too. I love using it within Live. The being able to put the effects on other VSTs is the coolest thing. I've been using Reason since Reason 3, I think, and being able to actually use it within a DAW without having to do the rewire bullshit. Chef's kiss. Because you can do shit like this. That is noise. Alright, let's try one other little bit of frosting before we call it a night. So, I haven't shown this to you guys yet, but this is a VST that I wrote in C++. It is the first and only one that I've done, but I plan to do more, and I plan to do some of them on stream. But, check it out. It is a pendulum. It's actually a double pendulum. So it's a little chaotic. You can control the length of it, and you can control the distance between these 2 points. And the idea of this, it's a wave shaper, and we've got a wet-dry control here as well. So let's add some dry. And I can click faster or slower to control the motion of this pendulum. And we have 2 harmonics that are represented by these 2 circles. And the bigger one of the circles is, the more you hear that harmonic. One of them is done by squaring the input signal, and the other one is done by cubing the input signal. And that creates some interesting semi-dissonant harmonics with whatever you put through it. And you can see that the faster it goes, the weirder shit gets. Like a drunken clock. Love it. Thank you, Beard Pills. I should have called it the drunken clock. It's actually called the pendulum shaper, but that's way more fun. Hell yeah. Do you want to go faster? And the more the distance is, the more of the effect you'll hear, this sort of pulsating. Yep, there we go. Fun, guys! Freaking fun! Alright, I think that's a good place to call it a night. Thanks for chillin', and next time we will do notes, notes, notes. Same bat time, same bat channel, unless I decide it'll actually be a different day, but I will keep my schedule updated on my Twitch channel so that y'all can come and hang out some more, because this is more fun with people. Let's go raid somebody. Yar. Mateys. Let's see who is up. Game's done quick. They probably won't really notice us, but, man, why isn't anyone else up when I'm up? It's not that late. Hold on a second. I wonder if I need to search people by name. Give me 2 seconds, Chad. Surely there are other people that I follow up. No, there really aren't. Oh my god. Alright, well, whatever. Let's go raid, Game's Done Quick. We will call it there. Where did my window go? There it goes. Cool. Well, thanks for joining tonight. It was a lot of fun. Looking forward to next time. Let's do it. Sweet, you be itching for raiding. I'm itching for raiding too, yar, matey. My brain is dying. It is time to eat. Yar. Good night, all. Until next time. Thank you again for joining me. You guys are awesome. Let us raid. And we're off.